Welcome to today's Champion on a Mission podcast / Champion on a Mission TV episode. And thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate it. Again, this is the Champion TV episodes that we're shooting for the Champion on a Mission podcast because I wanted to do something different. Don't like being stuffy, sitting somewhere with a microphone in my face. Like I said before, it's like the giant penis like stuff right here. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be in our headquarters, in our academy. This is my studio, my office. This is where we train. We used to train athletes. We still train special forces guys. And now we have made it our personal mission to be able to lead men to their own power by helping champion male businessmen, champion entrepreneurs win it all in their marriage, their business, and their lives. The champion's way to winning it all. There's a difference. There's a lot of ways to winning. This is our way. For guys like us, for guys like me, for guys like you. All right. So today I wanted to share something with you that I thought was super important because right now everybody's all into sports and the Olympics and all this other stuff. And my wife likes watching the Olympics. She likes watching the Winter Games. I'm not a fan just because I am a shitty spectator. When my son plays football, I'm sitting there and I'm like pacing and I'm watching and I'm quiet. All the other people are getting all into it. One, I didn't play football, so I don't always understand what the hell's going on. I just like to see people win or lose and how people react to it. And in the other sport, my friends are fighters. I used to fight. Like all of those things are great for fans, for spectators. I am a very shitty spectator because I want to play. I don't want to just sit and watch somebody else live their dreams while I sit in the stands, cheer them on, wear their colors, and be like, yeah, they did it. And I have a bunch of judgment about shit I really don't know because maybe I would have thought that I would have done something differently when I was getting punched in the face, but 9 times out of 10, I probably wouldn't have. But anyways, the Olympics are happening right now. And what I do notice is when you watch somebody like, I don't even know what some of that stuff's called, but like the dude that won, the dude with the red hair, is super cool, who's in the Red Bull commercials. He won. I watched his stuff. And man, he is a badass. I love what he does. I can't, if anybody remembers his name, man, you guys know it, great if you're watching it. But watching him win was fucking awesome because, you know, it was kind of one of those naysayer things. He had some problems in the past. Somebody claimed he sent like some naked pictures of some shit. Some girl sent some naked pictures to him and he's like, whatever. And in the press conference, which is what I like to watch. I like to watch when athletes that have put in their work to do the shit that they're great at, now when they're not performing, people want to sit them down and ask them questions. How do you feel? What do you think about? What's going on out there? Technically, they're not thinking about shit. They're doing what they've been trained to do. They're doing what the thing that they love the most, right? But then always in those situations, somebody asks something that has nothing to do with, one, their sport, two, with what it took to get there. They go into the drama side, which is typical of media. Well, how do you want to address the sexual blah, blah, blah accusations? And we've talked about this before on like the pussification of men and how the media sets us on fire every time there's some shit that goes on that everybody fucking does anyways, right? And he's like, I'm not really here to talk about that. That's already been handled, whatever. I love that attitude. Because unfortunately, the world is more interested in when you have a good guy or a guy that's powerful, a person that's succeeding at the highest level, talk about his failures and how he's fallen and how they go through random shit that everybody goes through. But oh my God, you're this guy. You're performing at the highest level. You're in the Olympics. You just won the gold. But you're like us. You have these tendencies. You have these urgencies. You have these impulses, these indulgences that you fucking partake in. And talking about them belittles you just enough to make me feel equal. You're not fucking equal. You're not a gold medalist. You're not an athlete. You're not a fighter. None of that shit. You're just a guy holding a microphone with makeup on, asking somebody some personal shit because it makes you feel better and powerful about yourself. Because that's where your power lies, belittling and pussifying other people who are striving for greatness. So when I watch those things, and I'm going somewhere with this thing as it relates to you, because I'm sure that you will get this when I say it. Those people put in the work to get to where they are. They owned that small space. They took personal responsibility for the thing that they really loved. And when I took a look at that as it relates to like even my own son or my own life or my wife or my kids and the things that they're striving for, the guys who will be coming into champion as well as the ones who've come into champion in the past, everybody had took some level of personal commitment, personal responsibility to put in all of what was required of them to show up and grow the thing that was important to them. To be their best, to be the gold medalist of their life, to be, like we call, the champion of their own life. Where is that for you right now? You figure champions on a mission are men that are called to a higher calling, that believe that they are great, that go against the status quo to create change in their lives, in them and or for others. Where is that for you? Where is it that you have taken responsibility and you've succeeded? But then where is it that you take a look at some areas of your life that may not be succeeding at the level that you want to, that you go, you know, if I were to actually take the personal responsibility, make the commitment as if I was a fucking gold medalist, going out to either defend the goal that I have now and win the next one, or win this new one, win the one that I've never won before. Where is that area in your life that is not, or that you are not being personally responsible for yet? Maybe that you've not committed at the level that you know that it would take. And if you had someone on your team to point out the cost of the past of where you used to be, maybe like, hey, look, my relationship is not where it used to be, or my relationship used to be fucking great. Now it's not. My marriage used to be great. Now it's not. And I'm not looking at it from the perspective that I should. So I'm not putting in the work. So I'm not being a gold medalist in this part. Maybe I'm being a silver medalist, a bronze medalist. Maybe it's with your kids. Maybe you spending the time that you want to the time that you need to really spend, the time that you think that you should spend with your kids, to have a better connection with them, to make them love you more, for you to not feel like a failure as a dad, or to make them not grow up when they're like 18 and fucking hate your guts. 9 times out of 10 they will anyways, if you're doing the right thing and helping them grow. Where are you just coming in the second place, but you're calling it first and you know it's a lie? Or maybe third place, even worse, calling it first place, but that's a lie, and coming up with some excuse. Or maybe you're not even on the fucking podium at all. Maybe you're on the sidelines, crying, holding shit, trying to just hold shit together to stay intact, just so you can go back into the locker room and cry because you are a total loser in that space. But you're like, it's not that bad. Maybe there's next year. Maybe time will come along, right? Because the real side to this, if you aren't going to take personal accountability, personal commitment, if you aren't going to go all in on those things and own the space where you're at, and really, when I say own the space where you're at, I'm not talking about accept the space where you're at. I'm talking about own it. If it's shitty, own it. Because once you own something, you can fix it when you take personal responsibility for the future of this thing. You know, my own personal life, when I took a look at my marriage with my wife, it wasn't until I began to own our future. And I say control all the time, but what I say is take control of the future results based on what I can do. Did those things begin to change? Because we began to have the hard fucking talks, the real conversations. I began to run into the fire of the conversations that we could have that were hard, knowing that if I took care of the hard stuff, the rest of my life would become easy. The rest of our life together would become easy. But that wouldn't happen unless I was going to take personal responsibility and control of all of it. Unfortunately, I get a lot of men that actually reach out or don't reach out. But they see our stuff, they hear these podcasts, they hear the videos, they've watched the messages, they see our posts on our organization page, on our Facebook page, on our wall. They do all those things and they see it, yet they still do nothing. And I'll be honest, man, I don't make messages for men who aren't willing to be personally responsible for where they are. I don't make messages for men who aren't willing to raise their hand in a moment's notice and say, shit, this looks like shit. This is real losing to me. Even if it's a win to other people, this is a total loss to me. And I'm willing to, one, put in the work to be the gold medalist in my life that I think that I'm going to be or supposed to be or that my family deserves. And I'm going to help us cross the finish line together. See, most guys won't do that. So any message I put out is typically not for them. If you're watching this television show, if you're watching or listening to this podcast, if you've seen this in one way, shape, or form, that's the only way you've even subscribed to this thing. That's the only way you've wanted to look at it. That's only because the shit that I talk about is too confronting for somebody who's not going to be personally responsible for everything. I don't want to talk to a guy like that. That guy's fucking delusional, right? You are fighting for what you have today. Do you get that? If you don't have what you want, you are fighting to maintain that shit. If you do have what you want, then you're fighting to maintain that. And if you've gotten comfortable with what you want and you don't want any more, you will die in that space. So you better be about the next battle. If you're happy in this space, you're fighting to have it, stop fighting to maintain what's good and look at great. If you are in bad and you're fighting to maintain bad, stop looking at what's bad and start looking at what's good. But either way, you have to take personal responsibility for the next step forward, or you will never get there. Your family won't get there. Your business won't get there. You will never be anywhere past where you are today. And you will be, unfortunately, like that one gold medalist that won again. Can't remember his freaking name. Sean something. I think it was Sean, right? Sitting there as a gold medalist, and even though the world celebrates him one clap at a time, for being a gold medalist, there's always going to be someone lingering in the background that's willing to bring up your failures, willing to bring up where you were human and you failed, that you didn't address the situation prior to somebody bringing it up so they can address it in front of you and make you look bad. Haven't we all been there? You've been 100% in one thing, and then somebody brings up the shit situation that you're in, and at some point, it makes your 100% now shoot down to 80. Right? Or if you're at 80%, someone brings in something shitty that you did or something that happened to you in your past, and it brings your cool 80 down to like 60. And then you're like, shit, 60's what in school? Failing? To anybody. I don't give a fuck where you are. 60's failing, right? Unless you're like some other place where 60's a D. I don't know where the fuck that is. But anyways, I got a lot of D's in school. They were like 67s. Is that right? 67s, whatever. You get what I'm talking about. The whole part about this is taking personal responsibility. Me looking at something from the outside, like I said, gold medalist in sports and stuff like that, I don't like watching because I don't like being a spectator. I want to be a player. Because when I'm a player, I can take personal responsibility for the outcome. If I lose because I put 100% in that shit, I can live with that. But I can't live with the loss that happens to me when I'm just sitting watching. Where are you just sitting and watching your life go by? Whether it's your marriage, whether you guys aren't having sex the way that you want to because you refuse to have the fucking hard conversations, or maybe you're living from guilt. Maybe you are a fucking neutered champion like I talk about in my other video where you used to be big time at home, but you're just a pussycat at home. And there's a part of you that truly does need to take a stand for yourself so that your marriage can get better. Or maybe you need to take a stand for yourself in your relationship with your children and say, hey guys, here's how it's going to go. We're going to do this thing together, but we will be better together. That isn't for someone to do for you. That's for you to do for them. Right? You cannot be a spectator of your own championship game. Or if you're like me, you don't want to watch a championship game go down and only be a spectator of it. You want to play. It will fucking drive you nuts to sit around and watch somebody else play your game better than you can fucking play it. Right? Now, if you're a guy that just wants to sit down and watch, like I said, I don't make videos for guys like that. I don't make trainings for guys like that. I don't make messages for guys like that. This headquarters of the Warhorse Academy, Building Champion, was not created for spectators. This is for players. It says on our door, champions only beyond this point. You can't even come here to fucking watch. I did that on purpose. That was truly by design because I want to create this world of champion men. Men that are champions for their wives, men that are champions for their children and their kids, men that are champions for their businesses and the people that buy from them, men who want to be rich, men who want to be successful, men who want to have everything working in their lives so they can win it all. That takes honesty, that takes personal accountability, that takes truth, that takes power. Without the power to achieve those things, you fucking lose, right? So within this conversation of being a winner, a champion, or a spectator, watching, the whole world's watching champions play. They're watching them win, they're watching them lose, and you hear all the spectators, oh, she fell, oh, he did this, oh, that was badass, oh man, that looks like his butt touched, he could have did better, from their fucking seats. Are you playing your game like that? Well, let me rephrase that. Are you trying to win it all in your life by playing your game from the seats? Like, no one wins their game from the seats unless you're a fucking gamer. I don't see a lot of gamers making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, there's a prize or something like that, but the people who are really getting paid in that world are putting the game on. They're watching those people play by controlling the game. Again, it goes back to personal control, personal ownership, personal commitment. Where are you doing that in your life? Here's the consequences of not doing it. You will lose. You lose everything. You're not in charge. Somebody else has to be personally responsible. If, let's say in your marriage, your wife is personally responsible for you guys' outcome, you don't get a say. If your kids are personally responsible for you guys connecting, you don't get a say. If they spend time with you, fucking great. If they don't, so what? You're not personally responsible for it because you're sitting, watching, waiting, hoping someone feels enough for you, watching you be emotional on the fucking couch where they go, Dad, what's wrong? Or babe, what's wrong? No one cares after about the third time they ask you that for you to stop acting like a pussy at home. Where are you doing that? Hard conversation, I get it, but some guys need to be shaken and fucking woken up because they've fallen asleep in the spectator chairs. Don't let that be you. Simply put, first, are you just watching your game go by without taking personal responsibility. 2, if you are taking being personally responsible or taking personal responsibility, are you taking the amount of personal responsibility and the amount of actions required hard enough to get you to the next level? Because that takes real fucking work. And if you've been sitting too long in the seats, it's going to take longer because maybe your ass is tight, your hamstrings is tight, you don't have the muscle anymore. It's atrophied. And third, is that 3? Over 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's 3. And third, last but not least, are you willing to put in the fucking work to win it all in your life? Because if you're thinking about it, if you're doubting it, that's not how you're going to go about winning. Thinking about winning is not winning. Talking about winning is not winning. Taking action and putting in the fucking work to win, that's winning. All right, here's the deal. There's a lot of men out there who need to hear this conversation, and if you watch another man in his own pain that you've been in, pain that I've been in, and not fucking help them, you are the scum of the fucking earth, because that guy will lose his family, lose his business, lose the shit that he's built, lose everything. And you knew something that could help him and you fucking didn't. I get that. Sometimes we're so inundated in ourselves that we don't think. But when you watch another man, another brother, another person who's fighting for his life, for his family, for his business, to build something that he believes is great, and you think that you can help, it is your responsibility to share this message with him. That's why we do this. For the people who will be personally responsible for their lives, and then when they see somebody who should be personally responsible for their lives too, the other person, and you don't share this, you fuck them. You fuck their family, you screw that man over, and you screw over everything he's ever trying to build, because he also, like you, is a champion. He has a gift. He has a burning desire for more, and if you don't help him push past his sticking points, you fail him, he fails, you also fail me. I'm going to be a failure to you, because then we've done all this for fucking nothing. All right? So share this message with him. You should become a horseman that carries a good message to a man that will strengthen him and make him more powerful so his family and his business wins. If you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you believe that it is time for you to raise your hand and become personally responsible for the outcomes going on in your marriage and your business and your fucking life, we would love to have you in this organization, in this academy, standing shoulder to shoulder next to each other, fighting for each other, fighting for each other's family, so we can help you go off and free your family and free your business and become the person that you know you're supposed to be. Go to championarmy.com, fill out the application. Here's the deal. We are an interview-based organization. We don't just take every fucking man who's married, has a kid, in a business or some financial responsibility. We talk first. I don't want to be a person who brings you into the game and play this game with us in Champion and then not be able to help you. There's another guy out there willing to help you. There's a better leader out there for you. But I believe that I'm called to do certain things. And if you believe that this message has called to you, that there's something about what I'm saying that resonates, bring it through. Fill out the application. Go to championarmy.com. Fill out the application so you and me, or you and someone on my team, can have that conversation and find out where you're at, what's important to you, what you want help with and need the most help with. And we'll bring you on board to experience Champion live with us. All right. So keep waging war out there. This is Vic. Again, championarmy.com, and or share this message from Champion TV and or Champion on a Mission podcast with a man who needs it. And go out there first. Take a look at your life, take personal accountability, and make a personal commitment to fucking win it all. And if you want our help with that, great. If not, do something. Don't just be a fucking weak spectator, armchair champion. Do something about shit, all right? This is Vic. Wage war.